does take a while for him to go down, and Doran ticking, but still has 100 health, so he is going to be A-OK. First blood as he just kills the wave.
This could be a trick, though. Good ward from Doran.
Yeah. Oh, Shock Blast almost just killing LazyFeel, and thankfully for LazyFeel, he walks onto... Okay, there's the flash, and the answer does come through. There's the headbutt from Andil! Down he goes! Oh no! Doran absolutely baited. Still does get done, and it is a very even trade. As, look at this, the arcane-powered Tibbers just attacking the GOAT over and over. And that is going to be T1 locking down the Dragon. Flash pulled onto 3 though. Deadly Flourish comes down. Equalizes fantastic. Featherstorm buying so much space though as Gumayusi looks for an opportunity with the Flash. But now it's gone a little bit too far. Or has Sponge, who goes untargetable and just says, I'm an Ascendant. He will do so. The bleed's ticking, but not ticking enough. And Protect the President is in full effect, as Gumayusi will survive.
UCal does not have teleport, doesn't join the fight. Decides to push for plates instead. I saw the angles there for DRX, but the play on the side of T1 was just too good. And now Owner shows up with his ultimate. LazyFeel gonna get stunned.
Yep. Flash on in as Gumayusi maybe didn't need to be there, but Deadly Flourish was definitely not gonna land. So down goes the Jhin.
Because, yeah, you could still, it's very simple, like you said, and we've talked about so much with Annie, but if the Annie doesn't get the kill,
This is a special stake delivery here, as Andil is going to be providing it. T1, all 3 of them just around the dinner table. Deathray will be able to secure it, and I'd say that's medium rare.
Yeah, most people like...
I think maybe with the fact that the cast came down first, do we call that sous vide?
I guess so, yeah.
You know, because it may not necessarily be warm. As okay, teleport in. See whether Rich can find an angle here as the equalizer goes down. Carrier and Doran now to walk up the red carpet, and they do just walk. And now Rich is the one that's out of position. UCal came in, but is able to walk out. Had to invest the teleport in a play that isn't necessarily working. Let's see whether we find ourselves a stun, as it doesn't quite work. Gumayusi in trouble though, and he will just burn down. So finally they get their prize that they've been looking for oh so long. And Gumayusi does go down, but they have to trade it for this outer turret on the top side of the map. Faker will be taking that. That will secure feats of strength here for T1.
I think the thought process for T1 is while Faker doesn't have teleport, he could just call, all right, just delay the fight there. We have a Pantheon ult. He can join in instantly, and I'll get this turret. Unfortunately, Guma, the angle here from the Annie, right? This means that Carrier and Doran have to walk up as we're actually going to live, where Rich is...
Yeah, he's flashing on Faker. Sponge is moving in, but there's another teleport. Owner is already here. Rich is definitely dead, guys. And Sponge is just going to walk himself out of there. Did not need any
we get the turret, and first blood, that ship is our first brick has already sailed that ship, so Doran?
Well, he is going to go to the skies, and so is Sponge. He's just dead. Doran just locks him down. That was a very strange situation, and I would think
as he thought maybe he was safe there. Didn't flash, but did, of course, pop. Now Faker's looking for another turret here on the bottom side, as T1 have really just grabbed hold of this game. It doesn't look like they're going to let it go.
Yep. That's Mountain Drake going on down. They're kind of just taking everything. Cloud Soul, because it is, of course, T1. They are the most trustworthy team in the LCK when it comes towards topside. Let's have a look once again. As Doran was just tracking the doggo and then finds it.
I think he knows which camps are up. That must have been communicated, because otherwise, why would you chase Nefarious? He just walks to the top safely. He's probably just going, all right, Sponge is low, but he still wants to clear his camps before he backs. I'm going to catch him greeting. And he played it super well.
Yeah. And didn't even say anything there.
No.
Ice cold there from Doran. Eyes on the prize as T1 looking to start off this Rift Herald. Let's see whether DRX can find themselves an angle. There is Faker getting engaged on. The equalizer is down, and I think he is going to be dead. The rest of T1 now trying to escape as the Featherstorm going to get the flash out as well. Gumayusi
Blast Cone
uses all of his utility, and there is UCal with the engage. Guma goes down after Owner. That's a lot of shutdown opportunities, and now Carrier, nowhere to go, has a cask. So that might buy him some space, but the rest of them are just going to be killing Rich. These stuns from the Annie set up really, really nicely, especially in this moment.
It's going to come down right now, in fact.
LazyFeel, pretty aggressive positioning here, as I would be a little careful. Carrier comes in and reminds him exactly why, but they're going to try and turn it. Andil goes in. He is traded. Actually, he doesn't even go down. The curtains have now been called. And Gumayusi, you better dance, and he doesn't get out of the last couple. Owner puts up the wall. But I think DRX have pushed them away from this dragon now and might be able to grab their first of the game.
Really nice flash there from LazyField. Played the fight really well there. His ult was well angled too. Rich on the chase there, forcing Guma's ult out, and that's a dragon here for DRX. They get the kill on Keria as well. I think ideally they would have liked more kills on top of it, but I think they'll definitely take the prize. The top turret did go down anyways after Rich left.
Oh, dear.
Now LazyField, no cleanse, no flash.
LazyField, you're not allowed to farm the mid lane. We've spoken about this already. There's Andal looking for a bit of an angle here, but Sponge going in. Rich turns up as well. Now the real damage gets in there. As over the wall goes the doggo. And thankfully they're going to be okay as there is the pulverize onto 2. Doran burning down and Yukao collects the kill. Tibbers is going to lie down, but I think that is absolutely fine. You did your job, big old bear.
Yeah. Is it the bear in the bush is worth 2 in the kill feed? Is that the
Yeah, I think that's the saying. I think that's the saying. It's kind of an old-fashioned one.
Going in here, doesn't have his ult yet. If he had his ult, I think there's a real angle. But he does not, so I think it's just going to be that trade of kills. At least they got something back, though. It looked like a big mistake from LazyField, which frankly I think it was. But it can work that way, and
yeah,
worked that way
theoretically,
yesterday.
yeah, it can certainly give you a little bit of a it could be worse type scenario. This turret, not long for the world. Gumiishi able to walk up and take that one down without too much
as well. Like this is a big fight.
Yeah, and this is big lethality on the Jace as well. These shock blasts going to really hurt us. That's just chain CC, and yes, he manages to go up into the Featherstorm, and that just doesn't really do anything. So Gumiishi just caught in mid lane. A little bit of what...
Yeah, it's going to be a really hard fight. Doran needs to hit a big shock blast, but he can't hit what he can't see. Might just have to toss it in, and he does. Hit Sponge.
Yeah, Sponge not going to be too worried about it as Yukao on a flank angle. And Tibbers is just being really frustrating. There's the equalizer as DRX look for the turn. The curtain call, unanswerable right now, but the bullets aren't really landing. And Rich also getting attacked by the Baron. He's out of there. Andal's also going to be taken down. And T1, they answer the fight really nicely. Now they're looking for even more, but should they? Is the question. Ona says absolutely we should. As in goes Sponge and out he goes via the Death Chamber. As LazyField wanted to offer some damage back, putting some miles into the Infinity Edge that he picked up as he gets a big old shield, and Ona just going to be able to dance forward. Stun comes down, Faker finishes off the Jhin as Doran moving on over. Yukao almost in range, doesn't have flash though. As T1, DRX thought that they had an opportunity. They killed Gumiishi and things looked great, and then they bit off a little more than they could before they have any meaningful advantage in this game. Puts T1 in a fantastic position as Keria goes for it once again. Cast just going to knock Rich into the wall, and there's nothing he could do. He gets the equalizer off, but that is all we can really say about that. Unbreakable Will now on cooldown for Andil, but he still gets taken down halfway, and this is what I was talking about. T1 now just able to get picks, translate that into full map control, and DRX are just going to fall further and further behind. And a bunch of extra stats now as this Thornbound Otacon is also going to be taken.
If they all walked into Yukao where he had his Tibbers stun prepped, you know, maybe there's a world where that goes awry, but once they got a few kills and they were like, Yukao's missing, he can't come to us, we have control vision on all the Annie is like 2-0 and 5, almost has a full set of Dark Seal, Death Cap. I mean, if he could hit a big stun or the fight goes longer.
Well, Ona's going to go in. This might be a bridge too far as Sponge not going to get pushed away by that. Cask and Andal is just holding them in place. Can Ona get over the wall? That's the question. As Gumiishi says, it does not matter. He can go where he wants because I am massive, and he absolutely is. There's the double kill for the Xayah. And Gumiishi, I think, is a little upset that he died a million times in the early stages of this game and is going to finally get his revenge.
Has been winning a lot of their series this season, hasn't it? It's been Atlas. Whether it's a Xin Zhao pressing an R or Pantheon putting up a shield, that is going to be a Baron here for T1.
Oh, Doran just walks from behind LazyField's tower. Thankfully, he's got some Cloud Rift to try and utilize, and Doran, I don't think he's going to be too worried about that one. Never mind, they're not going to dive.
And he just gets to clean up. Faker denies anyone else from following up, and, you know, focusing on Pantheon, the only option DRX had, but it wasn't going to be successful. Is now Owner's level 18.
Yeah, that's a 3-level lead. This Doggo not looking too hot right now. Although it is a hot dog, so it's a bit weird. Probably should be at least warm.
More like a chili dog right now.
Yeah, definitely chili. That's okay. LazyField, can he protect that? Oh dear. Yukao not going to quite find the Tibbers angle. Kind of tells the story of this series a little bit as Grand Starfall comes in. Decent Captain Jack there from Lazyfield, but I don't think it's going to save his life. His spear will be avoided, and so maybe Owner is not going to be able to get that one done. Still, he survives, and they take down Rich as well. And DRX just a little too far behind, ladies and gentlemen. T1, they've scaled into this game, and they are going to utilize that to take down this Nexus here in game number 1. Lazyfield just going to have to dance away from some of these skill shots as he watches his Nexus explode, and I don't even think he's going to be able to do that because Carrier decides that he's worth killing. Let's do it. These 1-3-1s pretty devastatingly in side lanes. Yeah, exactly right.
And I do think that in the past, I would have... I still think it's refillable.
Does Boris refill it for you before he gives it to you? Like, is it sort of like a...
I think it's
like if you get a bottle of water at a restaurant?
I think it's sealed on purchase. The sponge is up here, but you can't do anything. So yeah, back to... Oh, hold up.
Yeah. Yukal not going to get hit by the Dustbringer as Seismic Shove comes through, but the charm was in the air, and Yukal just walks towards Faker and dies.
Yeah, that looked very funny. It almost looked like the charm just had an insanely long... Played it greedy. Sponge is going to come over here and potentially challenge this Drake, but with no mid-prior of the wave crashing, I don't think this is realistic.
Well, there's a bit of a battle towards the bottom side as Carrier going down very, very low. Faker thinking about moving on over to defend that one. As level 5s for both of our junglers, Yukal will be able to skate his way over here. The Dragon is down low. It will be a smite fight, won by Owner for now, as he'll have to flash to get himself out of the way. But Andil, he's going to follow him. The Weaver's Wall comes in, and they all pile in on top of the Nocturne, and he will be seismically shoved into the Death Chamber. Faker now moving back towards mid, and DRX will be able to try and find some of the spoils as Sponge transforming into Owner will be able to take his Gromp.
These are the Andil games, you know, where you're like, oh, I see the angles. I see why this guy got his starting position back. They're looking for more here now into the bottom lane.
Oh dear, there's a flash immediately by Gumayushi actually, as Carrier is the one that's going down very low. Andil able to get himself out of there, but Sponge is just dead, and that was a whoopsie.
I mean, trying to dive Nautilus can be very difficult, as we know. And as DRX were reminded, even maybe zoning away the bottom duo instead. Sponge is going to be able to take this first grub without using Smite.
Yeah, so grabs that one. Carrier just going to stun up Andil just for a moment as he's pulling him back in, being a little bit frustrating, and Andil going aggressive. Doran moving over as Rich trying to defend, but the Q finds absolutely no one, and Andil is just dead. Can they get anything in response? That's the question, as Seismic Shove will connect onto Gumayushi, and Rich, he's going to survive. They're looking a little worse for wear. Teleport has just come back up, though, as the Grubs move back into the pit. Lazyfield positioned here in this mid lane, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend as these Grubs are taken by T1. They should be able to get two of them, as never mind.
I don't know if they should, but they're going to.
Yep, Carrier sitting in this brush here. True Shot Barrage not going to hit anyone, and there are both of those Grubs going down. In goes the Scion as he's trying to get rid of Gumayushi, and that is an engage onto Lazyfield if ever I've seen one. He just evaporates. Andil going aggressive, and Yukal trying to find a few windows as there's the flash in from Doran. Hextech ultimatum onto Sponge, but now he's just in the Thunderdome by himself. T1 kind of playing it well, being able to take one of them, but they lose their AD carry as well. And finally, they're able to take down Sponge. Rich now coming on in. He's now joining the rest of T1. These health bars are so low that nothing's landing from DRX. They can't get any of the kills.
They don't have enough damage here. Without Lazyfield, I just don't think you can win that longer skirmish. Ends up being a trade, but a trade up for T1 again. Now 2,000 gold ahead in this game. Faker sitting on 3 kills and 6 stacks of Dark Seal.
It looked like the idea from DRX in some of these moments was good, but I guess losing Andil here was unnecessary.
Well, Faker can also keep Lazyfield out of the initial part of the fight.
Oh no, Mystic Shot going wide is a disaster, and Gumayushi walks up to him and shoots him.
That one was gonna transpire.
Yeah, we saw the real thing at the end there, and so it was comfortable to surmise, not comfortable to watch again as that max range hook, just gorgeous. Down goes Mr. Sponge. He couldn't even flash or ult or anything. He was just dead. I mean, there's a difference between confidence and recklessness.
Yeah, there's starting to give me some like 2022 Live Sandbox feels right now.
With in the jungle as well. And that has continued to be a little bit of a problem here. Solar Flare will be able to lock down Faker. Seismic Shove is some nice chain CC. There we go. Here's the uptick from the DRX. And now Let's see whether the down tick is happening immediately. The flash hook, not going to quite find the mark, but I don't think they're out of the woods just yet, as, oh god, depth charge going to come on through as UCal's in trouble. Does have to flash and does do so, but the double up almost murders both of them. Does manage to get the kill onto UCal, and there we go. The ebbs and flows of DRX, ladies and gentlemen. They get a kill onto Faker, and then they lose 2.
Yeah, well, it's the traditional Faker dies, but then you win the fight style. Is over here, unstoppable
until hit the wall.
Yeah, there's a stoppable moment there.
A little stoppable.
Slightly stoppable.
I think Faker is pretty charming, and he is going to prove that as Rich just going to get taken out. The Zombie Scion going to see what he can do about this wave, and Gumayushi down towards the bottom side. This is really gone out of control. Words that I'm using to describe how big it is. I think just big is enough. As Doran is going to go in onto Rich here. I don't know what I was talking about there. As okay, Faker not going to get shoved. And there is the paranoia. Down goes UCal. And DRX, it's just really feeling like they're looking a little lifeless here in this game.
It's just hard when you're behind into this comp because Nocturne can be everywhere. Ahri can follow up so quickly. And now trying to even contest for this Herald feels like a pipe dream.
Yeah, LazyField going to get engaged on here as he does cleanse. Tries to get out, depth charge following him there, but he invests the flash to try and keep himself alive. Sponge standing on so much vision as they do get rid of the Rift Herald. Dredge line goes wide, so does the Charm. T1, they're happy with what they got though, as Doran just really starting to run away with his side.
Big F-sword in his inventory, and he was ready to fight that. And it's just moments like this where you kind of forget Nocturne can be in your side lane instantaneously, but if you just play respectfully, then you just lose control.
Oh, I've seen this play before, as this time Faker does not get stunned up by the Solar Flare.
TP.
And Andal is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Teleport comes in from Doran, as Gumayushi may even be delivered the kill. Never mind, it goes to the GOAT. Faker's like,
so like I said before, this is the kind of game with Andal where you're wondering, like, maybe is Pleta coming in the next series?
To speak of here at the moment. Oh, they did get a dragon. So there's that, as Doran is going to take a turret shot or two. Never mind, he's got a hook shot, so he's just fine. Faker now getting to work here towards his bottom side. They already have feats of strength, but if they didn't, they could get them again by locking down that first turret. There it goes. And even more money into the coffers of T1. Gumayushi moving forward towards LazyField is just trying.
Coming at me.
Yeah, what are they doing? And the thing is, I think a lot of people have learnt that focusing Faker in a side lane to the detriment of everything else is generally not a great strategy, as Doran looks for Sponge, and it doesn't work.
This could backfire.
I think it may already have backfired, as Faker is also dead. Sponge grabs another reset. This is where it's fine. As T1 take down the inner turret and this one as well.
Faker die inside and you get the cross map win is another archetype, because there's like Faker die inside, win the team fight. There's Faker die inside.
It'll be impossible to kill. It's only Faker that does magic damage on this squad, and Ahri isn't necessarily known for being super
T1.
Right. And DRX not quite being able to do so here, as the Archon has been started. Can DRX find any angles here as the paranoia comes on through, and down goes UCal once again. This guy's Talia has looked great, but yeah, I'm starting to doubt my memory right now.
Unfortunately, I think the issue is just you're not allowed to be by yourself ever into this Nocturne, even if they are doing Otacon, because they'll just collapse on you, and Owner just so good at that. And now they can just go straight back to the Otacon. Keria on this really cool flank here as well, as Faker shows up with his ult.
Yep, depth charge going to get a couple of knockups here as Sponge being held out of the Otacon pit. Keria will be taken out though, and now T1 rotating over yet again. Scion finds the knockup as Doran is dead once more. And now Faker just doing what he can to try and stay in this, and maybe I spoke too soon. The flash to try and get the knockup, but it's a great spell shield, and now Ona looking to try and turn it. This Scion is just massive on this front line though, and UCal has respawned. The wall comes on down, Ona is singled out, and Rich turned into a zombie, but I think he's well and truly done his job, and I take it all back. Maybe I did really need to talk about that scaling aspect, but this Scion starting to look a bit strong.
Also, I think T1, I really like Keria. And now DRX are going to get it.
Yeah, the response is this Otacon, as Paranoia does come down. That is Sponge securing it. As now Doran trying to get in there. Owner is well and truly in there. I don't know about whether he wanted to be. As the charm comes down, Faker is cutting them all down. Both of the DPS have been eliminated. And Faker is just looking to kill everyone. Gumayushi grabs a piece of it, and Andal is going to be going down next. Gumayushi trying to get out of the way of Rich, who's just not someone that he is able to kill. And Faker will hunt down this Leona. T1, the punishment was immediate, as the Foxfire is going to be able to cut him out, as Gumushi just spending some time outside of the queue. And yeah, as you can see, Gumushi does need armor penetration if he ever wants to kill Sion. Look at that. Rich cannot die, by the way, guys, basically, as finally he does go down. And there goes
he gets a double?
Gumushi. Does he get a double?
No, I don't think so.
The health bar is going down lower and lower and lower, and Carrier will be able to secure it. So there we go.
Be able to get the smite seal. Might have just been a flip. You know, he has his ultimate. They get the vision just barely in time. This is just very silly. He unfortunately channeled his ult just too close to Rich there.
It felt like it was the Titan's Wrath from Carrier that actually managed to do damage to Sion, because that's like on-hit magic damage. As Carrier does hit the 5,000 assists, and he's also rewarded with a kill for his efforts, as we saw there towards the top side. As Doran getting closed in on here by Yukal, as over the wall goes Sponge. Doran is going to then flash into Andil and gets immediately stunned. So there is a nice little advantage to be taken by DRX.
Rich TPing in. They don't want to turn this into a Baron call.
Yeah, how do you feel about a 4v5 Baron start?
Well, I've seen this before, but I think this time they'll make better decisions about it, right? This time they're all in the pit. Faker flank.
Yeah. I'm all about that optimism as well, as in goes Carrier looking for that angle. Once again, Yukal is singled out and destroyed, and T1 just making it an uncomfortable time in the Baron pit. This time it's an immediate triple kill for Faker. Can he find more? The answer is absolutely, as the GOAT may pick up a Penta, and in fact, he almost definitely will. He's the only one that does damage to the Sion, so there's the Penta kill for Faker.
Faker with a Penta, and it's just perfect play on the Sari. 15 kills. And once again, he doesn't care about your front line. He doesn't care about your Sion. He's finding those damage dealers in the back.
They might catch him aware.
Yeah, he's aware.
That could be the way. That's all right. Spell Shield, not going to get that value as the knockup does come on in. The crash into the Nocturne as True Shot Barrage doesn't connect, but now the bullet time is going to cut down Sponge so quickly. Lazy Field, he's not getting out of there. And down he goes. T1 just a little bit too far ahead now as Yukal. He's going to come in, but he's kind of like Donald Glover, holding the pizza with his house on fire. As Rich is a zombie, and Faker is not even going to let Yukal get out of this one. He is going to get charmed and destroyed. There's another ace for T1. And you've got a bit of a palindrome when it comes to the score lines here. 13-31. T1 very happy about that, as they're looking to close this one out 2-0 right now.
Yep, that's the end of that. Owner's like, all right, Xinjiao, our button can't get hurt.